Here I am with my little guy Max. It's a 2020. It has 5,000 miles on it, and this past year it's been sitting in the driveway. But to do the Dexter E-Z grease bearings, here's the tools you'll need. Now Dexter recommends that you grease your bearings every 12,000 miles or every 12 months. But it's pretty simple. It's a way to save some money. It's quite easy to do, and it saves a lot of time taking the RV over or your trailer over to the RV dealer and have them grease them up and everything else, and then you gotta leave it and then come back and pick it up, etc. I decided to do it myself. It seems to be very easy. This wheel bearing here on the driver's side has already been done, and I decided to do that to get the lessons learned as I went through it. So the next bearing on the other side, driver's side, I'll end up show you how to do the bearing grease. So what you need here is you can have some gloves. I prefer not to actually use them. You're going to need some paper towels, and you're going to need a tube of grease, needle nose, a screwdriver, and a grease gun. Now, my lessons learned, I did this bearing on this side with a flexible hose. I have a weak right hand, so I had to keep switching back and forth, and it would pop off the grease fitting. So I'm going with a fixed end over here. Now, the grease we're using is from Valvoline. It's a high temperature red grease. It's the red lithium complex, multi-purpose extreme pressure, and it's also suggested by Dexter. So what I'm going to do next is show you how to insert the tube in the grease gun, and then we'll move forward to the other side to do that bearing. Alrighty, here we have the grease gun. Now you can see this arm here is extended now. What you do is you press on this little plunger, and then you pull this out and release this. Now, because my hands are weak, it was hard for me to do it on a video. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the top off the grease gun. And let's see if I can do it with a video here. Take it off, spin it off. There you go. There it is. So now you can see down in the tube there's a plunger, and it's all the way down. So now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your tube of grease. You're going to pop off this plastic cap here. Okay, so now there's your grease in the tube. And at this other end, you got this pop-off cap. Okay, I'm going to pop that off. And once you pop the cap off, that's what it looks like here. So you got this metal rim here. Now you can see the grease is all the way to the top here. And at the bottom, it's a ways until you get to the grease. So what you end up doing is you end up putting the grease tube into the gun with the plastic end that you took off down in the gun. And you end up having to press it down to get it flush. And you don't want to get any dirt and stuff into the grease here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this down here, get it flush, like that. Okay. So here we have the top of the grease gun. I'm going to take a little bit of that off on there. And then I'm going to put the grease gun top on. And I'm going to end the video here. Now the reason you want to do that is because you got the air down at the bottom that's taken up by the plunger inside the grease gun. And so that makes it so there's no air that you have to worry about pumping out. So you want the metal rim of the tube to the top of the grease gun. Okay, I've screwed the top of the grease gun on. And what you're going to want to do is start pumping the grease gun until grease starts coming out. And there she is. Nice and clean and clear. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the wheel bearing and show you how to grease that bearing up. Okay, to start the greasing process, first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to chalk the wheels on the opposite side, and you're going to raise your stabilizers because you'll be jacking up the one side, so you don't want to stress those. Now, what you see here is I have a 4-ton bottle jack from Harbor Freight, and I've placed it right over here beyond that first bolt there. And if you can see in there, there's a web on this bracket. So what you do not want to do is you don't want to put it over here on the torsion bar that's going across. This is a torsion bar suspension system versus the leaf. So you want to jack your vehicle up on the side you're doing the grease on. Have the tire about 1 inch off the ground so you can free spin it. Now you're hearing a little noise there. What that is your brake shoes, which is a good thing. That means they're adjusted properly. Now what we're going to do is look at that bottle jack again. See where it is on that bracket? And it's a sturdy bracket, and then there's a sturdy bracket above that is bolted on, and it's welded to the frame. Now, other people say that you should jack it up by the frame itself here. It's your choice. Do your research. This is where I chose to jack up my vehicle. Now we'll move to greasing the bearing. Okay, to start the greasing of the bearing, the first thing you have to do is take this little hubcap off. See that slot right there? Just put your screwdriver in there and pry it off. And then down in here is your dust cap. I'm going to take this screwdriver and you're just going to pop that off. So, okay, we're going to end up doing this bearing now. One thing I want to point out in the description is a link to Dexter for their E-Z Lube procedure for greasing it. We're going to proceed here, show you on the video. Take a look at that. The thing I want to point out is this right in here, this edge. It's very sharp. So don't use your direct finger on it. Make sure you have a paper towel or something protective when you're cleaning out the grease. So the first thing we're going to do is snap the grease gun on. And what you're going to do is you're going to turn the wheel counterclockwise, and you're going to start pumping the grease in. And when you start seeing the old grease coming out, then you can clean that out and proceed until you see nice red clear grease. So it takes a while. It takes about 3/4 of a tube. That's what I found on the other bearing for the grease here. Let's see, it looks like we're getting some grease coming out right now. Okay, yeah. So the old grease is going through, and you keep spinning the wheel counterclockwise. Okay, we're going to continue with the video here. You see the right in here, the older grease, it's dark. See it coming out? You're going to keep pumping it, turning the wheel, till you start seeing some of that clear red coming out. See how dark that is right there? That's the old grease coming out. Like I say, it's about 3/4 of a tube that you're going to need. Look at that old grease coming out. See that? Nice. Okay, I kept spinning the wheel, pumping the grease in, and as you can see, the nice clear grease coming out here now versus that darker grease that we had going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up, put the dust cap back on, and pop the little hubcap back on. So if you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. Have a nice day.